Alright, now we will see our first visual element, which is tables. So you can see that table here, it is reading the value from PLC tags, and this table is reading the value from database. So we will make two more tables to see how we can read the value from PLC and the database. This I've already made for you, but I will make another one so that you can see what are the various steps involved. So what I will do is I will make a new window. This is my main window. I will make a new main window, and let's call it Siemens. Just Siemens is okay. Create window. So that's my new window. So let's take the table here first. So you will find the table in the tables column. So I will take this table. So this table has no data inside it. Okay. So let's take the first table, which is reading the value from PLC tag. So what I will do is I will take a label and let's rename it table reading from PLC tags. Okay, this is just information. Now there's one step before you start reading the value from PLC tags. The tags which you want to read here, that needs to have some settings. For example, I want to read the tag speed1 and speed2. These are my two integer tags. So what you have to do is right click on this and go to edit tag. Okay, when you go to the edit window, you have to make sure this tag group has been selected with default historical. This is first step. You have to make sure it's historical, and then you go down, and the historical you have to make sure this is enabled. It should be true. And storage provider, it's your database provider. So let's take database underscore CAC. So what this ignition will do, it will actually store the value of this tag in the database, and then it will read from the database. So you need to have a database setup before you see this database here. You have to make sure you have set up your database, and then you have to make this on default historical, make this true, and select your database. That's it. Apply and click OK. Similarly, in this case, edit tag, and here default historical, here database, and sorry, here it should be true, here the database which you want to select. Click apply and click OK. So our two tags are enabled for logging into the table. And how we do that? So let's go back to table, and when you click the table, you will see some properties here, which is the name of the table and the data. So this data has 0 rows and 0 column, 0R and 0C. So let's click on this window here initially, the first one. So it has no columns and no rows. So let's make some column and rows. Here you see it will say add rows. Here this is delete rows, add column, delete column. This is delete all rows, copy data set, and paste data set. So let's add one column first. So I will write this column speed, and the column position is the 0, the first column, and let it be a string. So the speed string is my first column. Okay, second column, okay, wait, I should not, okay, yeah, speed, because we are reading from the PLC. Then another column, and I will write here value, column position 1, and the value of the column, you see it's integer. Okay, so I will use integer, the values here. So my two columns are defined. Now I have to add 2 rows. So one row, another row, and the one row will be named as speed 1, because this I select as string speed underscore 1, and this will be speed underscore 2. And these are the values. Let's say if I put here value 45 to 20, click OK, you will see the value here. But we don't want the constant value. We want the value coming from the tags. Okay, so what you will do that. This is just to explain you that you can also see the value like this. But if we have a dynamic value coming from the tag, how you have to do it? Select the table again, and now this time click on this link bar. Now this icon means we are linking the table with something. With what? With the tags. Let's see how we do that. Click on this one. And then you have this different properties here. So click on cell update, because we are updating individual cell. All right. So you will see here 2 cells here with the value 45 and 20, which we defined. So click on this one and click plus. So this will show row 0, column is value. What is the value? On the value, click on this tag. Once you click on this tag, select the tag which you want to put here, which is speed 1. Click OK. This is the value for speed 1. So now select another cell, click plus, and select the tag for speed 2. So you have to do it for both the cells. And then you click OK. So once you click OK, you will see the value are coming from the tag 34 and 97. Okay, if I go to play, and now if I go to my PLC and let's go online, so it's reading the value from the PLC. So if I change the value here now, 22, you will see the value will change. So we have created a table which is reading the value from PLC tag via these settings. So this was about using tables but reading the value from PLC tag. Now let's see another example. I want to read the value from my database. Table reading value from database. So I will take another table. This is actually really easy. Now I don't need to define rows and columns, because if I'm reading from database, my rows and columns are defined here, like ID and price. Okay, so select the table, just link it directly, and here see DB browse, which means database browse. Open the database, select the database data. Okay, now we have to select not data but test, which we made before. This is the test table. This is the table which we made here, ID and price. So ID and price are listed here, and here you see polling rate. Right now it's off. It means polling means how often it will read the value from database. Okay, so let's make it absolute. We want that it should update the information every 1 second. So I will make it 1 second. So every 1 second it will take the information from database and update here. Click OK. Oh, there is some problem. Wait, let me see. Select from test where ID. Oh wait, some problem. DB browse, test, polling. Oh, where ID? Oh, okay, wait a second. We don't need this where clause. Let me try. If I put here 1, then it will take where ID is 1, but this where clause. Alright, let's do one thing. Here it says you have to specify the ID. Okay, so what I will do is I will show you one good example. Let's make it 1 for the time, and let's take input, which could be a spinner. So this is my ID. I will just put it here. Now we'll go back here, and the ID I will select as my spinner. So if I go online, oh wait a second, ID spinner value, okay. Now if I go online, I can select which ID I want to see here. So this is actually reading the value from database test, which is here. So it has 1 2 3 4 5 6 to 45, and if you see here, the value of 6 is 45, the 6 is 45, 5 is 78, and here it's 78. Now I'm pretty sure this is coming because we have a where clause in our DB query. If you see here, DB browse, we have a clause that select from test where ID is equivalent to root container spinner, which means where ID is equivalent to whatever we enter here. So this is one way to show the table. But if you really want to see the whole table, I need to check if I remove the where clause and click OK. Now this is the another way. You just remove the where clause, and that you do in SQL query. In DB browse, there was a where clause, which I was surprised to see that I cannot remove it. Yeah, it comes automatically here, so I don't want that. I will just use select star from test, which means it will show all the ID, all the columns and rows. So this is how you can have a table from database. And if you want a different, suppose you have a lot of values here, let's say you have value up to 500 rows, then you can use this option. So I will use another table. For example, where's the table again? I can use another table here, and if I just want to see a specific value, these both are a table from the database. And here I will go to DB browse, database, test, and where ID equivalent to my spinner and value. So here I will just get the value which my spinner shows. So I can write here ID, that's my ID. So you can see here now, that's the whole table, and this is the table for particular ID. And this is actually, when I click this button, it is sending a query to my database, and database is responding immediately and giving the values. Okay, so this is quite easy. When we're going to do this with Node-RED, you will see we will write queries every time. So when you want to design your own software for MySQL, because Ignition is a trial software, but if you don't want a trial software, if you want a full version, you have to do everything by yourself. That we will see when we do the Node-RED course. So we will write the queries and we'll send the queries by port address and everything. So this is tag reading, table reading from database, and table reading from PLC tag. All right, and if you have any doubt in this lecture, you can write me a comment and you can try this by your own, reading the values from database. We will also see how to write the values, but we'll do that later. So thank you for watching, and in the next video we'll talk about charts.